Learning how to make games seems really out of reach for most people. For the average person, you might think, damn, I can't do that. Well, I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can, because I'm like the most average person ever to exist on the face of the planet ever. Okay? So if I can do it, you can, right? Look, as long as you want to like learn stuff, then you're good to go. That's literally all it takes to learn game dev. It's not even hard. You just have to learn. That's pretty much like my favorite thing to do is learn things. And I was able to go to Udemy and learn like 90% of all of the things I needed to learn in order to be a game dev. Although I would be lying if I said that's where I started. I made a lot of mistakes and did a lot of stupid ass things. So let's go over those. So hopefully you don't, end up in the same place I did. So I tried to learn Unreal Engine like without ever opening a tutorial, and that was a really bad idea. There's a reason for it though. I used to make ARC videos, and I noticed that some of my peers were making really high quality thumbnails, and I was curious how they did that. And I found a tutorial from Vino, a great guy, and he teaches how to extract models from ARC and put them into Blender and texture them and pose them and make really high quality thumbnails basically. So, I started making thumbnails in Blender. I made a few of them. It's not like they improved my click rate at all, but that has more to do with me than it does the thumbnails. Let's be real here. After making a bunch of thumbnails though, I started to hear about Unreal Engine 5 and Lumen. I found out how easy it is to get really good lighting in Unreal Engine 5 because they have Lumen. Now, I'm not the person to halfway learn something, unfortunately. It's a blessing and a curse. I can't just, oh, they have Lumen, I'll use that for my thumbnails. No, I had to learn every possible thing about lighting in Unreal Engine, about materials, basically everything there is to know about the 3D art side of Unreal Engine. And what I found out is that it's super complicated. Look at me. It's so complicated, okay? It's ridiculous. Like, I'm not surprised that there is, people go to college for that shit, because it is super complicated, okay? Really ridiculously hard. It kind of discouraged me, so to be honest with you, I went back to Blender, just posing models and using their lighting and stuff like that to make a few more thumbnails. But I found out that Unreal Engine kind of left an itch unscratched. You know that feeling? I can't remember exactly what it was that made me decide that, oh yeah, it's definitely the game development side of things that's the itch that needs to be scratched. Maybe it was a feeling of inadequacy in my life, right? Can we relate? You've been there? Yes, everybody's been there. So I decided, you know what? It's time to learn how to make video games. I'm tired of ARC. I want to make my own stuff, you know what I mean? So I knew that there was a place called udemy.com that would allow me to take different courses on different subjects. See, but the problem with that is that being a beginner, it's hard to differentiate between actually good courses and super quick cash grabs. And unfortunately, I did get a few of the latter, a few of the cash grabs. It's all right. Like, they taught me how to cast and like how to get references at begin play, but they never really explained why or how or exactly what's going on. I was basically stuck in tutorial hell. I don't know if you've ever heard of tutorial hell. Tutorial hell is something like, I want to make the dash mechanic from Doom. You would look up a tutorial for that, right? Because I don't know how to do anything in Unreal Engine, so I would look up a tutorial how to do this dash. And the problem is that I would copy the logic, I would get my Doom dash, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm the programmer, I got my Doom dash. But then I would try and add like a cooldown between the dashes, or like, get a power up that let you get an extra charge to your dashes. I had no idea how to do any of that. I had no idea how to modify the code that was given to me in a way that was beneficial and specific to my needs. For a while, I actually wanted to give up because of that, and it was really discouraging. It felt like I wasn't learning anything until I found Game Dev TV on Udemy. Oh my God, they were a godsend. It's like the angels fell from the heaven and said, take these courses. So I had taken probably 5 courses at that point, all locking me in tutorial hell. And I said, all right, this is the last course. If I can't do this course, if I can't learn anything from this course, then I'm done with game dev. We'll go back and do YouTube videos in ARC or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. So I ended up taking the C++ fundamentals course from Game Dev TV with Ben, I think his name is Ben Tristram, and Stephen Ulibarri. Absolutely freaking phenomenal course. I cannot describe how much I learned from that course. It's like I took that course and then walked out on the other side like actually knowing what's going on. So all of this happened basically 6 to 8 months into my game dev learning journey. Yes, I was stuck in tutorial hell for 6 to 8 months. You know, it happens. Whatever. Sometimes it's hard for me to take hints. I don't know what that says about me. Don't judge me. So I decided it's time to kind of test my skills, make sure I'm actually out of tutorial hell and able to do something. So I made a prototype. It was a really polished prototype because I wanted to put it on itch and get some feedback and use it as kind of a portfolio piece to say this game isn't done, but at least I know these concepts and I'm able to get a functioning game down. And so that's where Wizard Defender came in. It's a tower defense game set in first person, and it allowed me to really just kind of spawn actors and, you know, spawn projectiles and get all of that set up and really think about level design and game design. And I wasn't so hung up on how to program game logic. It was more like, sure, I was a beginner at that point, so obviously I'm like, how do I program this thing? But it wasn't so much how do I program this thing as it was how do I make this programming this thing fun for the player, you know what I mean? And that got me really far. Actually, you can go play Wizard Defender right now if you want. But after that, I said to myself, it's time to use this portfolio piece as something that I can show to other game developers and maybe get myself in a team on a game jam. Because everybody that I've learned anything about game dev has said you gotta go do game jams, right? So that's exactly what I did. I signed up for the Big Mode Game Jam, found a team of 5. There was 4 other people, and we made a game called Goliath and the Wisp. There's so much that I learned about that. There was a programmer there that had been programming for 8 years. He was using data tables. I didn't know data tables existed. He was abstracting code left and right. He actually used Unreal Engine's built-in gameplay ability system. And for me as a beginner, it was a little bit overwhelming, but you know what? It's okay because I learned still a lot about abstracting my code and, you know, just a new side of Unreal Engine. Although the thing that I learned the most is that sometimes working in a team isn't necessarily the fastest way to get things done if not everybody's on the same page. I mean, that's what game jams are for. You go in, you learn stuff, you fail, and you go do another game jam. And guess what I did after that? I did another game jam. Surprise! Except this time I was solo and I was dedicated. So I made a game. This was a full game. Finally, I made something full with a beginning, a middle, and an end. It was a game called Escape from Fox Island, and it's like a 5-minute survival game where you have to escape from Fox Island. You literally just collect resources and escape the island. It's very, very simple. I was able to utilize everything I learned and make that game in 10 days, which was super impressive, but also at the same time, I'm looking back on it, even now, I just finished that game 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Wow, it's coded bad. Oh my god, I hard-coded everything. I was in the middle of programming that game. Like, dude, everything is hard-coded. But here's the thing that let me keep going anyway. You guys know Pirate Software, right? One thing he says is that Undertale was coded so badly. Like horribly. And as I'm hard coding everything in my survival game, I just kept reminding myself, it doesn't have to be good, it just has to work. The only thing that matters is what the end result is, what the player experiences, what happens under the hood doesn't necessarily matter for a game that's 5 minutes, you know? So what does that mean? What does that mean from here on out? Obviously, I'm making this YouTube video. And because I'm making this YouTube video, I think that it is time to start working on a commercial release. Now, what does that mean? Honestly, I don't really know. I've never released a commercial game. I've never gone and done anything through Steam. And to add insult to injury, I'm gonna make my first commercial game multiplayer. I feel like that's really important to me, is to be able to let people play with their friends. It just makes games so much more enjoyable. So I have to go learn that. I have a course from Stephen Ulibarri. I'm taking his course on, like, basically making Overwatch. So he's gonna teach about server rewind or something like that. Whatever AAA devs do to make competitive shooters and stuff like that. So that's the course that I'm gonna take as I'm uploading YouTube videos. I'm going to be learning how to make multiplayer games, but the game I want to make is kind of like Dark and Darker. It's probably going to be a little out of scope. I'm gonna be real with you. It's probably gonna be too much for me to handle by myself, but that's okay. I don't care, whatever. So I'll obviously be doing devlogs on that, but it's probably gonna take a while before that happens. But either way, I'm definitely gonna be sharing code and sharing projects and, you know, assets and resources with you guys. That'll probably happen over on my Patreon. I am not sure. None of it's set up yet. But I guess if you want to get started and get early in on it, I guess go sign up for the Patreon, but whatever. Yeah, bro, look at me, right? I know I'm skinny as a rail, and you can't even see me right now. But listen, yeah, here I am again. Hi. Go make games, bro. Go make games. What are you waiting for? Look at me. I have like 17 IQ, okay? If I can do it, you can do it, all right? Go get started. There's nothing stopping you. Learn Unreal Engine. Learn Unity. Coding is not even hard. You just have to learn it. It's just not even hard, okay? I know that's scary, but yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble all day. I appreciate you. There will be more uploads in the future. Hopefully you've gotten something out of this. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll see you in the next video.